The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRCMedia, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
This week in FRCmedia News, Catholic Charities Diocese of Fall River is wrapping up its emergency support of the survivors of the Gabriel House fire. The order of Fall River's November ballot has been set, and we begin our discussions with some of the candidates in the race. All this and more coming up. It's Thursday, September 25th, 2025. This is FRCmedia News. I'm Keith Tebow. In the days and weeks following the Gabriel House assisted living facility fire, Catholic Charities Diocese of Fall River provided clothing and personal items to the 60 residents who survived. That effort is in its final stages.
The last update I have, which was last week, they are all stably housed. There are some that treated it more as a temporary situation and they would like to move on to a more stable environment that they were familiar with, more of an assisted living facility type setting. Some are still with family, so they are all stably housed. Many received anywhere from 20 to 30 outfits, including undergarments, and then I know the Nikki Fontaine and her team were continuously working with them once they were placed, and they were coming back and forth as well, getting, obtaining more items for them. I will be reaching out to each fire victim that, we have on our list that we can still communicate with and offer more personal hygiene items needs. And we will also be offering gift cards to them for some winter clothes.
The fire claimed the lives of 10 residents, with 30 others injured. It was the deadliest fire in the city in 150 years and the deadliest in Massachusetts since 1985. In the first week following the fire, Catholic Charities was inundated with donations, an act that took the staff and volunteers organizing the donations for distribution by surprise.
It was just so overwhelming, the amount of kindness that came out from the community, and not just Fall River, but surrounding towns. I mean, we had people donating and organizations donating from Boston, New York, Florida. People were just sending things. It was just an overwhelming, and at the time, you're right, I didn't process. None of us processed that. We're in the mix of it. It wasn't until a couple weeks after, and I'm still processing it, the amount of generosity, and it's heartwarming, right? Gabriel House Fire really prepared us as an organization how to better respond. We're all trained on disaster relief, many of us here at the organization, but that was our first real disaster that we were able to respond to as an organization. And we've learned a lot, what to do, what not to do type, and how to better manage the flow of donations coming and going to those in need. So it was very overwhelming, but very heartfelt, and it was a great feeling to help. There's no other words really.
Any material not distributed to the survivors will be available by Catholic Charities as part of its ongoing basic needs support within the community. With the Gabriel House campaign nearing an end, Catholic Charities will continue its ongoing effort to provide housing support to those in need across the diocese.
We have several different housing programs that we assist with. Our funding comes annually, so per fiscal year. So July 1st of this year, we did obtain some more rental assistance funding for those that are physically homeless or at risk of homelessness. So we're receiving a lot of calls for those that are in rental arrears. People are still struggling post-COVID. And they're still impacted, whether it be job related or health related. So we've been very, very busy with the rental assistance program. We also have the permanent supportive housing program that houses those that are physically disabled and homeless. That program's been a great help to the community, all of Bristol County. So yeah, it's just basic daily life here at Catholic Charities that this is what we do. This is why we're here.
Fall River's unemployment rate fell a bit in August. The jobless rate sits at 6.1%, down from 6.2% in July. Last August, Fall River's rate was 5.6%. The suburbs and other gateway cities showed a similar trend. Statewide, the unemployment rate fell 0.1% to 4.7%. It's been 1 week since Fall River's preliminary election, but the Fall River Elections Office is already looking ahead to November. As dictated by the city charter, the order of the ballot is to be set via a drawing conducted by the city clerk. That drawing took place Tuesday afternoon. Here's the order of candidates as they will appear on the November 4th municipal election ballot. In the race for mayor, incumbent Paul Coogan will top the ballot as he's being challenged by Gabriel Boomer Amaral. For city council, there are 14 candidates on the ballot, with 2 challengers at the top, Michael Canuel and Jonathan Lima. The next 4 are incumbents, Sean Kadim, Cliff Ponte, Andrew Raposo, and Paul Hart. Challenger Nathan Sylvia is in the 7th slot, followed by current councilors Michelle Dion and Ricky Tith. Former councilor Christopher Peckham is in the 10th slot, followed by challenger Louis Mellon. The final 3 spots on the ballot are filled by incumbents, Brad Kilby, Linda Pereira, and President Joe Camara. The 10 candidates for school committee will be listed as followed. Incumbent Kevin Aguiar is first, followed by challenger Mark Mollicone and newcomer Chanel Joy Stewart. Incumbent Tom Corey is listed 4th, followed by 5 challengers, Randy Scott Dudek, Emmanuel Moniz, Anna Christina Riley, John Sylvia, and Shiv Thakur. Appointed incumbent Colin Dias will be listed in the 10th and final slot. FRCmedia has begun recording statements and interviews with the candidates running for City Council and School Committee. We asked each what would be their top priority if elected. Incumbent Councilor Linda Pereira says she's concerned with the high cost of trash disposal.
Right now, we're going out for another contract. And, some people will say the city should run that operation. Well, all of the trucks are gone. Those trucks are going to cost a lot of money for us to get back in that business. And you have to look at the wages of workers and the benefit package, the sick days, the vacation time, the retirement plan, the health insurance. You have to look at all of that as well. But they are putting something out. And then I spoke to somebody and they said, I have a 6-family home, but I have 1 individual living in each of my apartments. I have 1 recycle bin and I have 1 trash bin, and it works every week for us. But if there's a 6-family home where there's 4 people living in each unit, or they need more barrels, why not charge per barrel? That's another idea. And I think that that's the kinds of things I like hearing from constituents. That could be another direction that we look at.
Incumbent Brad Kilby says of utmost concern to him is getting a handle on the city budget.
Our budget's going to be challenging, and I think the reason I say that is because of all the new things that are occurring in Fall River. With the rail, with our housing, with the rail comes along new development, good thing. With the rail comes along population, and maybe, hopefully not, but an influx and maybe an increase on our public safety, meaning our police and fire. So the budget and sustaining all of this new development and infrastructure that's occurring in Fall River, but also taking care of the needs of the people in Fall River with their solid services, right down to trash, is a key. It's definitely a key.
Challenger Louis Mellon says for him, keeping the city safe while properly overseeing new construction are important topics.
There's no such thing as having a good city or a good neighborhood unless you have safety. And by that I mean we need to have a fire department, a police department, and an EMS department fully staffed and fully financed every time. You cannot go back on that. That's the basis for any success as far as a city or a town is concerned. So that's my top priority. There are many other things. Building in the city has gone, in one word, crazy. We're building buildings without obeying the law. local law, never mind state law. It's time we stop that.
In the school committee race, challenger Chanel Stewart says the district needs to focus on the basics of teaching and learning for those at a young age.
My top issue is getting back to basics. I feel like the literacy is a huge thing. We have a big thing with, where we're at, where we're ranked as a school, which is, we already know it's bad. But I think that in order to get where we need to get our children, we need to start younger. We're expecting a lot of things from these children. I remember when I was in kindergarten, we went to school half day and we took a nap half that day. These kids now in kindergarten, they're expecting them to read before they leave. They need a lot, so I think that we need to give them more so that they can get more out of it. We can't expect everything at the end, but we're not giving them more tools. So I just feel like we need to give them more then. They need to know how to read before they leave 4th grade and then go into, these kids are going into high school and they're not knowing how to read. So of course they're not gonna, by the time they get to 10th grade, they're gonna drop out because they don't know how to read. So I think that we need to get the teachers more stuff in elementary school to help the kids that's in high school because they're gonna keep dropping out.
Newcomer John Sylvia says he wants to use his experience in human resources to make an impact in recruiting and communicating with prospective hires.
But what I'd really like to focus in on is the HR part. And I'll give you an example, Keith. I've been, around the campaign trail, going to different fundraisers. And one thing I hear is that people will apply for a job in Fall River and they don't hear anything back. And me working in the federal government, we had that same issue. So I believe it was President Obama came in and wanted to revamp all the HR systems. And one was like a great program is to touch, every time you touch that application, you have to notify the person. So I like to see us set up a program where you apply for the job, we send you an email that says we received your application. Number 2, you were qualified, you weren't qualified. Number 3, you were referred to the selecting official. And lastly, you got the job or you didn't get the job.
Incumbent Tom Corey says he would like to build upon the impact an increase in state funds has made within the district.
If reelected, I'll go back to my first term when we fought and advocated so loudly for the Student Opportunity Act. And if you notice, so many school board members and school administrators have always referenced how important the student opportunity monies have been for us. Because it affects gateway cities like Fall River and the poorest cities in our Commonwealth. So the state legislature set aside a huge fund to help shore up our resources so that we could constantly attack the problems that affect gateway cities, English language learners, special needs, and all the resources needed to encompass those services.
Please visit our special Election 2025 webpage where you can find out more about the November election and view our videos with the candidates. The pages are updated regularly. Visit frmedia.org/election2025. We're also planning 3 candidate forums in the coming weeks. The first is Tuesday, October 7th at 6:30 p.m. when we welcome the candidates running for school committee. On Thursday, October 16th, we'll hold 2 panels of candidates running for City Council with forums beginning at 6 p.m. and again at 8 p.m. Then on Tuesday, October 21st, we'll host the candidates running for mayor beginning at 6:30 p.m. Please save these dates and you can watch these forums live on Channel 95 and online. More details coming soon. The city last Friday held its annual ceremony recognizing the local veterans who never returned home from war as part of the POW MIA Recognition Day at Bicentennial Park.
Today, we know that there are over 80,000 MIAs since World War II. Many of those will never be recovered because of deep water, whether it was ships or planes or submarines. But we will continue to find and bring home our missing brothers and sisters. It matters that we speak the names of those who have not come home yet. And I hope that the next generation will do what we're doing here as Vietnam veterans. We need to remember those, not only on this wall, but those who are still missing and have not come home. This ceremony, we do not fire a rifle volley, nor will we play taps. Our veterans are not home yet. and we will wait until they come home and give them the proper military honors that they deserve.
One of Fall River's most decorated war heroes received another honor this week at Government Center. Navy Captain and Medal of Honor recipient Thomas Hudner was recognized a few years ago as the state named the Visitor Center at Heritage State Park in his honor. Along with the naming was the placement of an original painting by local artist Brian Fox. A print of that painting is now on display in the lobby of Government Center.
So that when people come in to do their everyday business, they might see his portrait and read about his story and his friendship with Jesse Brown, the first black naval aviator in the country's history, who died in Korea on December 4th, 1950. Tom tried to save him. He crash landed his plane in the mountains, put out a fire in his plane, and worked tirelessly to try and get him out of the plane. He was stuck in the plane, and that's where Jesse passed away. But Jesse Brown, in a period of, as we know, back in the 50s, racism, he overcame tremendous odds to become a naval aviator. And in doing so, he met Tom Hudner and they became friends, which was unusual.
It's close to my heart. It's become close to my heart. As you get to know any of these veterans, how can it not be? So because I have this relationship with these different veterans, you turn around and you want to represent and create their narratives for them and help them to be remembered.
We'll have more FRC Media News after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Dental Assistant, Kids Dental Care, located at 497 Robeson Street, seeks a full-time dental assistant responsible for supporting the dentist by performing various clinical and administrative tasks. Job number 230-97682. 8th grade math teacher, Atlantis Charter School, located at 991 Jefferson Street, is looking for a full-time 8th grade math teacher responsible for planning and delivering math lessons, grading assignments, and assessing student progress. Job number 231-00137. Warehouse Consolidator, JS International Incorporated, located at 485 Commerce Drive, is seeking a full-time warehouse consolidator responsible for consolidating and organizing cabinetry products within a racking system in the warehouse. Job number 231-00031. Brake Person Wrapping, Gold Medal Bakery, located at 21 Penn Street, is urgently looking for a full-time brake person wrapping. For more information, call 508-674-5766. Health First Family Care Center Incorporated, located at 387 Quarry Street, has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. Behavior Technician, job number 230-90536. Assistant Program Director, job number 230-90465. For more information about these or other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
My name is David Perry. I'm the president of the Greater Fall River Food Pantry. And what we do here is we provide food to clients that are in need. We're always trying to get more people involved in what we're doing, and we're trying to concentrate on youth. And it's all about helping people, and that's what we should all be doing, is helping someone. So it's a great opportunity for them to, come down here and give us a couple of hours a week. It's not long; it's 2 hours a day. And once they start volunteering, it's like a family. It really is. So getting these younger people involved, it's just great. It's great to see. It's great to have younger generations seeing what's going on in the real world, as we call it, and helping out.
I've gotten a new outlook on the community. I've been able to see all sides, helped me learn just a lot about Fall River as a whole.
We like to get students in from 14 years of age and older. It's not about the Greater Fall River Community Food Pantry. It's about what the Greater Fall River Community Food Pantry does as an outreach. We want to reach out to the community. Most schools require that the students put in volunteer hours. we're a perfect example of receiving those students, and that way they get their hours accredited, and it gives them a good learning experience.
Volunteering here made you feel good, felt like you were helping out the community, and also it really helped me out with making my application stand out with having volunteer hours on them. Like when I'm applying for jobs, I've been on the hunt right now, and I've done a lot more interviews since I did charity work here. Makes you really stand out, and also just feels good helping out the community.
I love hearing other people's lives, how other people live, other people's families. It's interesting, and I really like to do this work.
Come down and see what it's like. Come down and take an opportunity to help someone else. Come and see what's really happening in the world out there.
It's the time of the show. We are joined by Kevin Lawrence of Fall River Development News to talk about economic development and business news across Fall River. Kevin, how are you?
Very well. Happy to be here once again, Keith.
All right, let's start with some work on the waterfront. But
Yes.
when we've been talking about the waterfront, we've been talking a lot about what's happening in Route 79, but there's another parcel of land that has just been purchased on the waterfront that may have some other implications. Fill us in.
Yeah, Fall River's largest employer, South Coast Health, has purchased 2 parcels of land along Duval Street. We broke the story. The first parcel is adjacent to Commonwealth Landing and the old Coca-Cola bottling plant. It was last utilized as Alan Paul's Rent-A-Ride. There's a gym in the back. This is a parcel that sold for $5 million. And right behind that, there was another parcel of land containing a residential structure, a 3-family residential structure that sold for $925,000. And South Coast Ventures Inc., which is the nonprofit corporate address for South Coast Hospital, which is registered in New Bedford at 101 Page Street, which coincidentally is St. Luke's Hospital. They've purchased the properties, and it appears they're going to build some kind of medical facility, whether it's an office building or an actual medical facility. We still don't know yet, but they do have plans for the property, and I'm assuming at some point they'll be releasing the details.
Yeah, very interesting to see how South Coast Health, which of course has a footprint all across the South Coast and all over the place, that they're looking to expand a little bit here in Fall River, and I would expect that many jobs may come with it, even though we don't have any details yet, right?
Absolutely.
All right, moving on. Next on our list is a laundromat called Laundromax is moving into a new location in the north end of Fall River.
Yes, we're going to fill a vacant Walgreens drugstore, the Walgreens at 870 North Main Street in Fall River. This is near the D'Angelo's at the bottom of President Avenue. If you take a left there at the bottom of President Avenue, there's a shopping plaza with an AutoZone, a Family Dollar, and it used to contain a Walgreens that's been vacant for over a year, and it's going to be filled by a Laundromax. It's going to be their second location in Fall River. They currently have a 24-hour location at 321 Rhode Island Avenue, and they're going to be moving in. They say they're going to be featuring 130 plus washers and dryers at this new location. So we're filling a vacant spot. That's good news for the city.
Yeah, and many people have run into that Laundromax in the other part of the city, and it's good that they're growing because there is a need apparently in Fall River for this type of business. And again, as you say always, we wish them luck as they move into a new facility now in the north end of Fall River.
Yes.
And finally, this week we'd like to talk food, and there is a local cafe that is going to be relocating to a spot that's probably a little more visible than where they are right now.
We're talking about Chocolate. They're currently located on 6th Street in Fall River. It's kind of near the Central Fire Station on Bedford Street. It's a side street, and they've been there for about 10 years, and they are moving to a plaza on Borden Street, right behind the bus station. They're going to fill the vacancy left by J&J Jewelers. That store moved out, and Chocolate is moving in. They serve coffee, food, sandwiches, and like I said, they've been in business for 10 years, but with this new location, they're going to have on and off street parking. They only have on street parking right now where they're located on 6th Street. The move is going to happen on Monday, October 6th. They'll be open up bright and early at 7 a.m. at 167 Borden Street at this new plaza in downtown Fall River.
And I'm sure they're hoping that people who may be getting ready to jump on a bus at the bus station, which is right behind them,
Yes.
In that area, will probably stop by and hopefully get a coffee or some other treat before they head on their way on the local bus lines in Fall River. You can find Kevin on Facebook. Fall River Development News is his page, and he has a lot of information about information on businesses and economic development opportunities that are expanding, moving in and out of Fall River. Please give it a like and a follow. And Kevin, we'll talk again next week. Take care.
Thank you, Keith.
Hi, welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we are showing you Duchess. Duchess is a 4-year-old pit mix. She came to us as an owner surrender, unfortunately. When she first came in, her ears, you might be able to notice her ears look a little funky. She had horrible ear infections, unfortunately, that we had to clear up. Even though we didn't get very much information from the previous owner, it's clear that at some point she did have puppies and whatnot. She does great with the staff and with all the volunteers. We don't have a history, unfortunately, with kids, so we are looking for somebody that has either teenagers or just all adults in the home. Whenever we adopt out pits, we do have some rules that we want adopters to be able to follow. For starters, we want you to be able to own your own home. If you want to come down and meet her, you can come down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter. Today we are showing you Trix. Trix is just over a year old, a year and 3 months. She's a short hair, she's like this gray tabby, as you can see here. She was actually came to us as an owner surrender, and when she was surrendered to us, we discovered that she was pregnant. So she's actually been with us for a little bit of a time. She was in foster for quite a while. She had a few kittens that she had to nurse, but she is a very sweet girl. Just a little stressed out still here at the shelter, but that's going to work down. And once she gets into a home and she gets comfortable, you're going to find that she's a cuddler. If you'd like to come and meet Trix, you can come down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter.
That's all for this week's edition of FRC Media News. Please visit our website, frmedia.org, for more local news and information. FRC Media News airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. on Channel 95 and the Fall River HD channel, which you can find on Channel 1072. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next Thursday.